Hello everybody, Anthony Aniano here from RotoBaller Radio and RotoBaller.com with your fantasy football Week 1 waiver wire report. The waiver wire leading into the opening weekend of NFL action. Now, full disclosure, recording this Sunday, September 3rd. So things can change over the course of the next couple of days by the time kickoff on Thursday night. And then next weekend, obviously the 10th, and then Monday night on the 11th. So a lot can happen. We'll come at you. I'll be recording these waiver wire videos every Sunday throughout the season at the end of the games for you to check out early into the week. Roster percentages are based on Yahoo percentages, trying to only include players listed at 50% or less. Now, before we get into it, just want to remind everybody, head over to rotoballer.com right now if you haven't already and sign up for the premium NFL package there at rotoballer.com. Take advantage of all the great tools in season, or if you haven't drafted yet, including team sync tools, lineup optimizers, sleepers, draft strategies, waiver wire reports, you name it, rotoballer.com has it all for you. Get that premium pass using the promotional code ACES and save at checkout. Like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel. Download the RotoBaller app. It's free. Everything you want, all the sports you want, all the content you want, right there in the palm of your hand. And RotoBaller listeners and viewers, don't forget to check out our good friends at the FFPC, the home of season-long fantasy football. It's been 14 years since the FFPC filled their first league, and they've grown to be one of the world's largest league commissioners. Not a single FFPC league has ever folded, and leagues are forming right now. FFPC has plenty of great slow draft and live draft formats, including best ball drafts, starting at $35. Best of all, every RotoBaller listener and viewer will get $25 off their first FFPC contest. Go to rotoballer.com/FFPC and take advantage of this offer. Don't miss out on the FFPC experience, the home of season-long fantasy football. I'm in 3 FFPC contests, all of them Superflex formats. It's only Sunday, kickoff's not till Thursday. Who knows what will happen one night over the course of the next couple of days there as well. So, let's get into it though. 5 players you want to consider adding for Week 1. Now, I don't usually go crazy on the waiver wire for Week 1. There's a reason I drafted my team. I'm not straying from that plan before we've played any games. Okay, that's not something I'm going to do. However, there have been a few injuries, there's concerns, whatever it may be. So there are players, and there's a ton of players available. Try to streamline it here and give you my 5 based on these Yahoo roster percentages, 50% or less. And to me, the number one player who's going to be added, and he should be added everywhere, only 30% rostered on Yahoo, but that's Dion Jackson of Indianapolis. Now, I expect that number to go through the roof in any leagues that draft between now and kickoff on Thursday. But at this moment, on this Sunday, September 3rd, Dion Jackson of the Indianapolis Colts sit at 30% roster. We know Jonathan Taylor is going to miss the first 4 games. We know Zach Moss was injured in camp, and he's Zach Moss. The rookie Hull is there as well, the 5th round pick. But all reports are that Dion Jackson, Week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, will be the starting running back for the Indianapolis Colts. Has a nice matchup Week 2 against the Houston Texans. Last season, in a reserve fill-in role, he finished with 86.5 PPR fantasy points. Carried the ball 68 times for 236 yards and a touchdown. Was targeted 34 times in the passing game. 30 receptions, 209 yards, and a receiving touchdown. He had a few moments, usually tied to the passing game. But nonetheless, Dion Jackson, Anthony Richard, I do expect to be the leading rusher on this team now. And Dion Jackson could provide to be a nice safety valve for the rookie quarterback. Struggles with inconsistency throwing the ball. Accuracy is in need of improvement. We'll say that with Anthony Richardson. So Dion Jackson, a safety valve out of the backfield. Love him in a PPR format. Only at 30% rostered on Yahoo at this moment. At number 2, Romeo Dobbs of the Green Bay Packers. I was surprised that I was going to talk about him today, but he's only 31% rostered on Yahoo. Last season, at one point started hot, but truth to it, Aaron Rodgers lost a lot of confidence in Romeo Dobbs last season. Then he suffered a high ankle sprain, and when he had that high ankle sprain is when Christian Watson took off last season. Romeo Dobbs, 425 receiving yards on 42 catches. He was targeted 67 times and 3 touchdowns. 103.6 fantasy points. But he is the Packers wide receiver too. Allen Lazard is not there. Okay, it is him and Watson. They did draft the position, I believe, in the 2nd or 3rd round this past year as well. So it's a retooling in that Green Bay offense led by Jordan Love. Jordan Love has 2 second-year wide receivers out wide. Watson is the presumed number 1 guy based upon how he ended the season last year. But Romeo Dobbs is going to play a role in that Packers offense if it's going to have any success. Green Bay opens the season at Chicago, follows it up with a game against the Atlanta Falcons. Like that matchup against the Falcons for Green Bay's offense. So Romeo Dobbs only at 31%. If you're in need of a wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, Cooper Kupp, whatever it may be, whatever injury occurred, whatever hesitation you may have with somebody you drafted, Romeo Dobbs, 31% rostered. At number 3, and this one's the highest rostered player here, and it's going to be very interesting to see what his roster percentage ends up being. But Devontae Chain of the Miami Dolphins. Now, I spoke of him earlier this summer as a late round running back sleeper. Yet on Yahoo, he's only 47% rostered. And I get it. Before you comment, he's already rostered in my league. I get it. He's out there. He's on plenty of teams. However, he's still slightly over 50% available on Yahoo. So I wanted to mention him in case you drafted early and he's out there. 47% rostered, 53% available. Jeff Wilson of the Dolphins hits the IR. The Dolphins don't trade for Jonathan Taylor. Raheem Mostert and his injury history is the running back 1. Myles Gaskin is there. All of this sounds bad. But the truth is with the Chain, he ran the fastest 40 time of any running back in the combine. Coming out of, I believe it was Texas A&M. Not very big, so who knows if he handles a full workload as a running back. I don't expect that. Where I expect A-Chain to be a factor is in that passing game out of the backfield. You get the ball in his hands. Picture a work done, if you're an old timer like me, a work done type running back situation for him. Remember, Dunn was terrific. He was an all-pro, but he took his breaks. He was dynamic catching the ball out of the backfield. Opens up against the Chargers and New England. Love the matchup against the Chargers. A-Chain can make some plays if he gets the ball in space. So Devontae Chain, 47% rostered. Don't have to start him, okay? But he's on your bench, whatever you need to do if there's been an IR situation and you go with a Chain on your bench. Now, my final 2 players, both wide receivers, lightly rostered, we'll say. The first one is Tank Dell, the rookie for the Houston Texans. Okay, now you look at Houston, new quarterback, and you say to yourself, all right, along with this quarterback, who's catching the ball for the Houston Texans? Is it Nico Collins? Is it the veteran Robert Woods? Is it Noah Brown, who they signed from the Dallas Cowboys? Is it last season's early round pick, John Mechie? Okay, or is it Tank Dell, who they took in the 3rd round this year? My view of it, you have a situation in Houston where you have an entire new offense, a rookie quarterback, a second-year running back, and you could roll with 3 wide receivers, all with less than 3 years experience in Nico Collins, John Mechie, and Tank Dell in the slot. Okay, he's had an impressive camp for the Houston Texans. He's only 6% rostered. He's out there in 94% of leagues. Do I see him as a 1,200-yard receiver? No. But do I see him with the rookie quarterback being the type of guy who could end up with where C.J. Stroud looks to him and he has 6 or 7 targets a game playing in the slot? Right now in that slot is slated to be Noah Brown from Dallas. That's not inspiring. Robert Woods is on his last legs. There's going to be a path to playing time. Whether we see it in week 1, we'll have to wait and see. But if you're patient, later on in the season, Tank Dell can have a nice role for the Houston Texans. And finally, my final waiver wire ad of the week deals directly with that Cooper Kupp injury. So you're saying, oh, he's going to talk about Van Jefferson. No, Van Jefferson's the obvious ad. He's only 14% rostered. I already drafted him in spots, and I spoke about him as a late-round sleeper, Van Jefferson. However, it's Puka Ngata, the 5th-round pick by the Los Angeles Rams. Sean McVay came out this weekend and said he expects Ngata to have an immediate contributor to this Rams offense. He's already ahead of veterans Ben Skoranek and Demarcus Robinson on the depth charts for the Los Angeles Rams. if Cooper Kupp is out week 1 because of this lingering hamstring issue, Puka Ngata could be a target favorite of Matthew Stafford for the week 1 matchup for the Los Angeles Rams. He's only 1% rostered. He's 99% available, and he's out there. And if he's out there, and if he's in if you're in one of those 9% leagues, this rookie 5th rounder could have an impact on the very first week of the season. All right, everybody. So to recap, my 5 waiver wire ads for week 1 of the fantasy football season: Dion Jackson, Indianapolis Colts; Romeo Dobbs, Green Bay Packers; Devontae Chain, Miami Dolphins running back; Tank Dell, wide receiver, Houston Texans; and Puka Ngata, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. As always, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on RotoBaller Radio.